Hi everyone, Kelt here, bringing you my thoughts on the British royal family and Harry and Meghan. And today I'm following up after my last video, which was about the House of Lords in talks regarding Harry and Meghan's titles. And there was so much interest in that, even further questions, that I thought I'd do a follow-up video with some more of the research that I did previously. So, the House of Lords, a cornerstone of Britain's parliamentary system, operates with the weight of centuries. Its nearly 800 peers, life peers, hereditary nobles and Church of England bishops, tasked with dissecting laws and upholding tradition. Yet, within its storied chambers, a modern firestorm brews, one that could reshape the monarchy's future. Fueled by ex-posts, tabloid headlines, and a shocking comment by Meghan, which I did a previous video about and which has been verified by Lady Colin Campbell, rumours swell that the Lords are debating a bold move, stripping Prince Harry and Meghan Markle of their royal titles, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Many have complained and said that this means that if Meghan loses the Duchess title, she will just call herself Princess. I think not. I think this will stop them from using anything. This saga, which is far from gossip, probes the limits of parliamentary power, the monarchy's relevance, and the tension between personal freedom and public duty. We'll dissect the Lord's authority against King Charles's ceremonial role and probe the latest claims of imminent action and scrutinise the grounds for title removal. Treason, as I said in my previous video, sparked by Harry's spare revelation, and also Meghan's alleged plane crash comment. Constitutional crisis, misuse of titles, public disrepute, breach of royal protocol, and undermining the monarchy's global image. I think they've done all of those things. We'll also explore Prime Minister Keir Starmer's push to abolish or reform the Lords, a move that could upend this debate. We'll unearth new historical cases, analyse how the Sussexes' actions align with each criterion, and dive into public sentiment, weighing the legal complexities against the moral quagmire, revealing a monarchy navigating a polarised, transparent world. So the House of Lords is a working institution. It's not a relic, even though it might appear to be. Its peers, from legal minds like Lord Panic to veterans like Lord West, engage in a rigorous process. 3 readings, committee scrutiny and amendments, refining bills before they face the Commons, democratic verdict. The Parliament Acts of 1911 and 1949 limit its power, ensuring the elected chamber's supremacy, while conventions like the Salisbury-Addison Agreement curb opposition to government pledges. Yet the Lords' influence shines in symbolic debates like royal titles. A bill to revoke the Dukedom of Sussex, granted in 2018, would require precision, drafted by a peer or minister, debated across stages, and passed by both chambers, culminating in royal assent. This rare process underscores the weight of altering a peerage, a legal construct rooted in precedent. However, the Lord's future is uncertain. Prime Minister Keir Starmer has vowed to reform or abolish the House of Lords, calling it undemocratic and outdated, per a May 16, 2025 Byline Times report. Starmer's manifesto, reiterated in a May 20, 2025 Guardian article, proposes replacing the Lords with an elected Assembly of the Nations and Regions to better reflect modern Britain. Ex-posts like at Mike Coulson's 48 on May the 16th, 2025, highlight this as a once-in-a-generation reform opportunity, with 5,000 likes. A May the 21st, 25 BBC report notes Labour's plan to remove hereditary peers by 2026 and cap the chamber's size, though full abolition faces resistance from peers like Lord Burns, who argue for its expertise. This reform push complicates the Sussex title debate. Any bill would navigate a chamber fighting for its own survival, potentially stalling symbolic issues like title removal. Contrast the Lords' role with the monarchs. King Charles III, as head of state, embodies tradition but wields ceremonial powers. He can grant or revoke HRH styles, as with Diana in 1996, but stripping a dukedom requires Parliament. A May the 22nd, 25 Times article cites Charles's hesitation, quoting a source saying he aims to avoid further family rifts. The Lords could propose a bill, but the Commons' democratic weight and the King's obligatory assent are pivotal. This dynamic, Lords as initiators, Commons as deciders, King as symbolic approver, frames the title-stripping debate, now shadowed by Starmer's reform agenda. Are the Lords' talks imminent? Ex-posts fueled speculation. At Royal Eye claims peers are drafting a Sussex title motion, citing Meghan's protocol breaches, with 20,000 likes. At Crown Voice on May the 21st alleges William's allies in the Lords are rallying, and this one got 14,000 retweets. News outlets amplify this. A May the 20th express.co.uk report cites senior peers discussing title removal over Meghan's gift card signed HRH the Duchess of Sussex, which breached her 2020 Sandringham Agreement. The Telegraph, May the 21st, 2025, mentions preliminary talks but no formal bill, noting Labour's focus on cost of living measures. No Hansard records or Lords statements as of May the 22nd, 2025, confirm active debates, suggesting that people's longing for this is outpacing the reality. Starmer's reform push on May the 22nd, 25 Independent article prioritises structural change over royal disputes, dimming prospects for a title bill. Yet the Lords' history of symbolic gestures like their 2019 Brexit amendments keeps the possibility alive. The legislative path is a marathon. A bill would face intense scrutiny, with peers like Lord Hope, a constitutional expert, likely questioning its precedent. The Titles Deprivation Act 1917, which stripped titles from peers like Prince Carl Edward of Albany for wartime disloyalty, required clear evidence. A 2025 bill would need Commons support, which is unlikely given Labour's 412-seat majority focusing on NHS funding, per a recent BBC report. Public sentiment, with 49% favouring title removal in a May 2025 YouGov poll, could sway MPs, but 44% of 18 to 34-year-olds supporting the Sussexes, per BMG, risk a backlash. So let's dissect the grounds for title removal, starting with treason, given by two explosive claims. First, Harry's spare revelation, which I talked about in my last video. During a military exercise near Sandringham, he claimed to have locked onto Charles's grey Audi from an Apache's sights and thought about targeting it before redirecting to blow a silver barn to smithereens. We know that that was in Harry's head. It didn't actually happen, obviously. Ex-posts were calling out Harry on this and saying that it was all dramatised for effect, and Harry never had a pilot's licence. He was not flying anything, he was not controlling anything, it was all a simulation and a game. The Mirror's January the 17th, 2023 headline, Harry's jet threat to King, fueled anger, though most realised since that it didn't actually happen. But it's bad enough that it was in Harry's head. Secondly, Meghan's alleged comment, confirmed by Lady Colin Campbell. In a 2021 YouTube video, Lady C claims a palace insider overheard Meghan in 2019 say, "We're one plane crash away from the throne," implying ambition for Harry to ascend. X comments at Royal Truth Seeker on May the 22nd calls it chillingly ambitious, with 12,000 retweets. At Crown Watchdog on July the 1st, 2021, labelled it treasonous intent, with 9,000 likes. A 2022 Reddit thread on our St. Meghan Markle claims a staffer recorded it, but no audio has surfaced. I heard that story as well. I heard that someone had recorded it, and let's hope it comes out at some point. Notably, a May the 22nd, 2025 Telegraph article reports Queen Elizabeth II in late 2019 tightened royal travel rules after this rumour, instructing Prince William to stop piloting helicopters with his entire family, especially Prince George, to protect the succession. A 2020 BBC report confirms William now travels separately from Kate and their children. This is a shift tied to succession fears. Is Meghan's comment treasonous? The Treason Act of 1351 defines it as compassing or imagining the monarch's death or levying war. Legally, her remark, if true, is reckless but lacks intent or action. I would like to mention something at this point which is food for thought, and that is, what about the fact that Meghan's mother is alleged to have dabbled in the dark arts? And this is just a question I'm throwing out there. If somebody was allegedly putting spells on someone or doing things like that, whether you believe in that sort of thing or not, if somebody was actually physically doing something like that to bring harm to someone, could that be looked upon as treason? That's my question to you guys, actually. But then it would have to be proved, wouldn't it? But it's just a thought because there was so much talk about it a while back. Harry's spare anecdote, similarly, is provocative but hypothetical. Historical treason cases, like Thomas Howard, Duke of Norfolk, attainted in 1572 for plotting against Elizabeth I, involved tangible conspiracies. Meghan's alleged musing, likely rhetorical, and Harry's story, a training exercise, don't meet the legal threshold. I would go so far to say that Meghan's alleged musing was actually wishful thinking. And there were some fans, Sussex fans, not your run-of-the-mill ones, maybe the ones that are a little bit more radical, that were talking about making serious threats and giving out serious information as to the route that William and Catherine would take when driving to their parents' home. Quite serious, I would say. Ex-user at Royal Reason on May the 22nd, 2025 argues it's dark humour, not a plot, while You Sober Royal on Reddit calls it ambitious banter. Yet 63% in a May 2025 Express.uk poll view the comment as disloyal, amplifying calls for action. Constitutional crisis is another ground. A crisis disrupts governance or monarchy stability. Their April 2025 Netflix series, With Love, Meghan, portrays the palace as oppressive, resonating with 47% of US viewers per Nielsen, but alienating 55% of Britons per Statistica. Unlike the 1688 Glorious Revolution, which ousted James II, their actions are reputational, not structural. The monarchy's 66% approval, led by William and Catherine, per a May 2025 Ipsos poll, suggests no crisis. Misuse of titles is potent. The 2020 agreement barred Her Royal Highness HRH use in commerce. Meghan's April 2025 gift card, signed HRH the Duchess of Sussex, and her As Ever brand May the 17th, 2025 Instagram post captioned Royal Charm violated this, with ex-users calling it blatant exploitation. Unlike Princess Eugenie, who uses her title discreetly, Meghan's public breaches draw scrutiny. A May the 21st, 2025 Mail Online article notes 72% of readers see this as grounds for action. Public disrepute, though not legal, drives sentiment. Harry's spare story, Meghan's plane crash comment, and their $35 million Archwell Netflix deal, per a May the 20th Forbes report, are seen as profiteering. A May the 22nd, 25 Telegraph poll shows a 69% of 18,000 respondents want titles gone. Contrast this with Princess Anne, who retains HRH despite private scandals, showing the monarchy's tolerance. Breach of royal protocol is critical. The monarchy thrives on discretion. Harry's May 2025 Channel 4 interview, accusing the palace of security sabotage, and Meghan's April 2025 UN speech as Duchess violate the never complain ethos. Historically, protocol breaches led to sanctions, like Prince Michael of Kent's 2022 HRH restrictions for commercial deals. The Sussexes' openness clashes with tradition, fueling Lord's concerns. Undermining the monarchy's global image is a fresh angle. The royals represent Britain abroad, but the Sussexes' media ventures, Oprah, Netflix, Spare, cast the institution as dysfunctional. Their May 2025 Nigeria trip, styled as a royal tour, drew criticism from 60% of Britons per YouGov for muddying diplomatic roles. Unlike Prince Edward's quiet 1990s controversies, their global platform amplifies damage, prompting Lord scrutiny. Starmer's reform agenda adds complexity. Abolishing the Lords, per a May 22, 2025 Independent article, could delay or derail a title bill as peers prioritise defending their chamber. A May 2025 YouGov poll shows 52% of Britons support reform, but 30% value the Lords' expertise, complicating the timeline. If abolished, an elected assembly might lack the Lords' symbolic focus, diminishing title debates. Legally, revoking the dukedom requires a bespoke act, like the 1536 attainder of George Boleyn for treason. Commons support is doubtful, with Labour's 2025 focus on education. Per a May 2025 Guardian report, Charles could revoke HRH, but a recent Spectator piece suggests he fears escalating conflict. Morally, critics see betrayal, Meghan's comment as ruthless, and Harry's story as reckless. Title removal risks alienating diverse audiences, casting the monarchy as punitive. New historical cases highlight rarity. In 1397, Richard Fitzalan, Earl of Arundel, lost titles for plotting against Richard II. In 1715, James Drummond, Earl of Perth, attainted for Jacobite rebellion. These involved overt disloyalty, unlike the Sussexes' media-driven controversies. The Lords may debate, but with 59% of 18 to 34-year-olds backing Harry, no audio of Meghan's comment and Starmer's reform push, action seems improbable. So, what will happen? Is this likely to go ahead, or will Keir Starmer manage to remove the House of Lords before we get Harry and Meghan's titles removed? Or will the House of Lords push this through quickly to show their efficacy and their worth, if you like, in getting the job done and getting it done fast? So, could this move to actually do away with the House of Lords speed them up, if you like, to getting this sorted? Let me have your thoughts. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. Like if you liked it, and click the bell for alerts for more videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.